back to bear with me. The Boston Bruins are now 6-6-1, and that is good enough for, say it, Rob, 4th in the Atlantic Division, somewhere in the Eastern Conference, and somewhere else in the National Hockey League. My name is Joey Copponi. That's Rob Tocci. Rob, how you doing, buddy?
It doesn't matter how I'm doing.
No, is that actually how you're doing? It doesn't. Are you okay? Are you good?
No, I'm fine. Well, you were like, say it, Rob, but then you didn't take a breath at all. So I had to say it at my first available opportunity, which just happened to be after you also said, how are you doing?
Okay. All right. Oh, that makes sense. That all checks out. We are also brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy sports partner of the CLNS Media Network, and brought to you by Game Time, the best place to buy tickets online to sports, concerts, all your favorite events. And the Boston Bruins, they did some stuff. They did a couple of very different things. So we're going to try to recap all of it, but also you saw it. So we don't need to recap all too much. We need to just kind of react to it. That's kind of our job. Sit here, talk to you guys, have a good time while we're doing it. And also try to replicate the feeling that we had after the first two games. Because there have been 4 games since we talked. We were supposed to do an episode after 2. And what happened was they lost both of those games, Rob. And they looked so abysmally, terribly awful. We never even talked about doing one. We were going to. That was the plan. And then the time came and the time went. And lucky that we did for you guys, because it would have been a disastrous episode. Do you want to try to recreate what it would have sounded like? Okay, so you guys have heard that episode. Now we can move on to this episode. They're 6-6-1, so they're kind of right back where they were.
Yeah,
1-2, lost 2, but the order of events, the way it happened, all that matters a hell of a lot more. B's back on track.
Yeah, but they seem to be after the Philadelphia game. It's one game. You're not back on track after one game. Mm-hmm. But after 2 shutouts in 2 days, you're pretty back on track. I still have critiques.
Mm-hmm.
There are still areas for improvement.
Absolutely, but 1,000%.
But when you compare it to the 2 games prior to getting shut out by Philadelphia Flyers and then losing 8-2 to Carolina, a team that I still hate. I know it's a little dormant right now. That's not quite where it was 4 or 5 years ago. I still hate playing Carolina. And that game really didn't give me any reason not to hate playing
Carolina. Is a solid secondary rival.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas now I would put Carolina basically in the same tier as Montreal now, because they've fallen down, but they can't really fall below second tier.
No.
And Carolina was a top tier rivalry for a little bit, but it's just reaching the point where they might slip out of contention entirely.
Yeah,
for a rival, but
a lot of it was the playoffs. We saw them quite a few years in a row. It just doesn't feel like we see them often enough now. There doesn't seem to be any big player rivalries, but again, if you want to talk about the mentality we were in after those 2 games, I couldn't have felt any worse.
I thought this is a weird place to kind of take it, and I don't know if we want to spend a lot of time on this because there's a ton of stuff for us to talk about. But I was really buying into the Montgomery hot seat conversations after that game. After the 8-2, I was like, okay, now maybe we can start talking about it, because there seems to be legitimate criticisms of Monty himself and not just the team is losing, so let's fire the coach. That was maybe the first time this year where I've really sat there and been okay, I could see this being a legitimate possibility and maybe even a warranted one.
Yeah, I was right there with you. And I think a part of that was from the fact that going into the Carolina game, in the practice before that and in the game itself, there were 4 brand new lines. The fourth line just got distributed through the lineup. And everybody was like, what's going on here? These lines are insane. Beecher on the top line, it was just madness.
Yeah.
And it didn't work at all.
It looked like the work of a desperate coach.
It did. That's exactly what it looked like. It looked like, I think Fluto called it a Hail Mary that failed. So for you to take that big of swing and for it to just fail catastrophically, for you to potentially hit your season low in game 11, that was when I was like, you know what? I'm not there yet, but I'm starting to get it. Like, I'm starting to be like, I could see me getting much closer to being like, I think Montgomery might not be the problem, because it's not like, it's like when a goaltender is getting shelled and you still want to kind of stay in it. So you put in the backup, and like, yeah, it's about their performance, but it's also like you're telling the team, it's like you screwed it over for the first goaltender. And we hope this can motivate you to play better for the second one. Kind of that mentality for like a coaching change. I don't think Montgomery's in that much jeopardy right now anymore.
No. But it's also because of 2 games that we're saying that, you know?
Yeah, it's been literally 2 games. And again, albeit shutouts. But they were, and this is where I'm going to start qualifying it a little bit. They were shutouts against pretty bad teams. And they were, you had 2 and 3 goals. I'm sorry, was there 2 and 2? No, I can't remember.
Well, it was 2 and 3, but technically 2 and 4.
Oh, sorry, it was 3-0, 2-0. I had it backwards. And that's fine, but that's fine when you have the shutout, but you have to expect to let up 1, 2, 3 goals most games. So and there were so many chances in both of those games that could have been goals and should have been goals and weren't, which is what I find very concerning, is that they have these amazing opportunities, basically an empty net, and they just can't get it in.
I was going to say there is I had a note here. Sorry, I was just looking for it. They look oddly panicked with the puck. Is how I would describe it. Like, just in the offensive zone, they just never look settled. They never look like they have a chance. They've set up for something. They are dominating play in the zone. That's just never how they look. It doesn't look like a finished product. It's not the team that makes you go, okay, if they can just play like this throughout the rest of the year, or if this team shows up in the playoffs, who's beating them? Like, it's nothing like that. Like, it's weird to say that after, like you said, back-to-back shutouts. But these were games that they should have won, and they did win, and they have good goaltending from both goaltenders.
From both goaltenders.
But yeah,
tandem in the league.
Whoa, Corpy for Vezina.
Now we're talking.
The top line specifically, their inability to finish is criminal.
It's weird.
So many chances where it doesn't even look like, oh, like they should have scored there. It's these ongoing, prolonged in the zone moments where you're like, okay, here it comes, and
like dominating them. Heavy pressure, great chances. Like, they almost every shift against Seattle, they made them look foolish. But again, it's like when you do that, like, there should be a little bit more conversion going on. Like, I would have liked more than 2 goals in that game. Yes, you only needed 1, but it's the inability to finish in some circumstances it's a little concerning, and that's a funny thing to say when they just won 2 games in a row with a shutout. But
I mean, the best goal of the game, like the best hockey goal of, I keep using this. The brand new thing that I've latched onto that I'm going to keep using. Like, which of these goals would a coach, like a youth coach, pull up and be like, look at this, look at how they executed this? The best goal of that game didn't count. It was the Zacha goal.
Yeah.
Which, let's just talk about right now. I am increasingly against replay. I'm just entirely. It slows down the game to a point that, like, I'm beyond frustrated by it, but also spirit of the rule shit.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm so old. I'm reading a book on World War II. Maybe I'm accidentally 55 years old. I don't know how I've gotten these opinions that I've gotten, but that's not the spirit of the rule. Being a quarter of an inch offside, it's to prevent, like, cherry picking. That's the point of the rule, right?
Dude, I was getting so fucking mad reading people in our replies and just anywhere trying to explain to me and explain to anybody why the goal. No, actually, though, it was offside because if you read this line in the rule, fuck you.
Doesn't matter.
Do you understand how nitpicking that is? If the idea is that you can proceed, you can go into the zone before the puck if you're in possession and control. What? Zacha had possession control. If you're like breaking down, like, oh yes, but in this centimeter, it wasn't quite on the blade of his stick. It's like, fuck you. Talk about the spirit of the rule.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what about that play makes you think Zacha is not in control there?
It's also like the point of the rule is like, well, it's unfair to have a player be on, like, right? If you get down to like, the founding fathers of the game to be like coming up with the rule of offsides, it's like, well, it's not fair to have a player just like up there.
Yeah.
Like, what advantage did that provide or whatever? And this is really, we're not sitting here complaining about it because, it was a goal that would have tied the game and God damn it, the Bruins, that should have counted. It didn't matter. It's more just, I don't know, if that was Sharks Jets, I would be walking away with the exact same opinion of like, what are we doing here? Does this matter? Do we need to be spending this much time on it? And I loved Brick's reaction. It was just a cold, almost emotionless, just bad call.
Yeah,
Doesn't
bad
matter. We can move on, but bad call. Just so everybody knows, bad call. Definitive bad call.
Like it is literally a matter of inches. And at that point, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Not at all. It's also just like the live hockey experience. It totally detracts from it.
Yeah,
you're selling an entertainment product.
Yeah. It's like, I think it was Defumi. It was just like, if there's an argument to be made both ways, it's not conclusive and you cannot overturn it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it should be super obvious if you want to overturn it. And that was not super obvious. I was very surprised they called it back. I didn't even have like a defeated, like, of course you're going to call it back. I was like, to my understanding, like that is what possession and control looks like. Like he was handling the puck going up to the blue line and just at the blue line made a pass behind him.
I think it should just be a guy in Toronto who's dedicated to every game. I don't think that's that hard.
Okay, and just the same guy every time.
Yeah, just they have 8 games that night. There's 8 replay guys on call. And like cricket, have you ever seen cricket reviews?
No.
They like a player will challenge, or what, I don't know if it's a player, but what doesn't matter. Will like tell the referee, umpire, linesman, I do not know cricket well, will challenge something, and they will like point up to the video board, and it'll go like 5 seconds, and then a ruling appears on the screen. It's just like they're like, what do you think? Eye in the sky? They're like, he is safe. Boom, move on.
That's why, like, all the technology nowadays, it's like, I know there's like a whole conversation about like robo umpires, and I don't know, there's a lot to talk about there. Like, I think you lose something in the game when you take the human element out of even the refereeing. But
well, I mean,
with the review, like maybe we try the human approach first. And then if we're not sure, we ask the robot who knows. It's like it's okay to look in the back. It's okay to look in the back of the textbook for the answer if you're not really sure.
I'm not even implying like let technology make the decision. I'm saying like if a coach challenges it, that a referee gets on his, I don't know, it's like a cop. He has like a radio on his shirt, but he goes like, "Hey Toronto, is that offsides or not?" And they in 5 seconds go, "Yes, it was." Instead of, hold on, they congregate, they go over the thing, they pull out the iPad, they put on the headset, but we show the angle, we show the referees, we show the bench. We show the replay, then we show the referee watching the replay, the referee is talking to the linesman, then we show the other bench. Then we show the replay, and then what am I watching, dude? Show me an ad, dude. Show me what Burger King's got instead of this. It's a bad entertainment product, whatever. Speaking of entertainment products, if you want to make the game a little more interesting for yourself, you're sitting around watching these reviews and you're like, my goodness, is there a way that I could make a couple of bucks while I'm sitting here, dude? Have you thought about downloading Prize Picks, you dolt?
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. They got over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all, so you just pick more or less. on at least 2 players for a shot to win up 100 times your cash. Your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get into the action in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay even if one of your players gets hurt or injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Sign up today and give $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus because it's guaranteed. Think Steph Curry will get more than 4 3-pointers this week, or Anthony Edwards more than 27 points? Cook up some hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season. Get your crew to run your game on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. And, you know, some of the Prize Picks you could be looking at: Luka Doncic for more than 31.5 points, Steph Curry for more than 4 3-pointers, Anthony Davis more than 11 boards, the freak Giannis for more than 29.5 points. Again, download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Charlie Coyle, MVP of the week. Best player on the ice. A couple games in a row. Charlie Coyle's awake, everybody. Took a little bit, but he's here. What's up?
But he does this, and he gets our hopes up. And he's the most dominant player on the Bruins. And you're like, holy shit, look at Charlie Coyle. And then he stops doing it. So I don't want to ruin the party. Because I'm fucking loving I am loving Charlie Coyle right now. This is what I wish he did every single game.
Oh yeah.
But I'm trying to protect myself here.
There's no better way to put this. When he is on, he plays like a captain.
Yeah. He plays like a 1C. When he's firing on all the cylinders, you're like, why isn't this guy the 1C? But
he just looks like a leader. Something about the way, like, just his confidence, it seems infectious, and just like the feeds he makes, he just seems like he elevates. He makes the players around him better when he's on his game.
Yeah, very persistent, very determined. Just like there's almost nothing the other team can do to stop him from doing what he's going to do. Like, you can knock him down, he'll make the play from his knees. You can try to hit him, he's probably going to hit you back at the same time. Like, he'll make a play, he'll score the goal, he'll yell in your face, he'll laugh in your face. It's all there. He'll fight you if he has to. 6'3", 220. Charlie Coyle's a big boy.
It's a big boy. People don't talk about it.
He's a big boy.
Gentle giant.
So in the Philly game, and I texted you because I watched it after the fact. The first thing I think I texted you was like, Coyle looks great, like noticeably better than he has been. And you said you had the same note when you were watching.
Best Coyle game of the year.
Yeah, and I think NESN said as much too during the show before the Seattle game. They were talking about Coyle against Philadelphia, saying this is probably his best. Not even probably. This was his best game of the year so far. And then he
not really a strong second contender, to be fair.
No, not quite.
It's very definitively that game.
Yeah. And then, I mean, we're probably going to bounce around a lot. I mean, we can basically just throw these two games into one massive game.
Yeah. That
power play goal by Charlie Coyle against Seattle is one of those goals I just started laughing. Like what? Like, that's bananas. Like, getting it down low. And DeCourt has to, he plays it really aggressively. Like, that's the move. Like, you would think it 99 times out of 100, Coyle or anybody else in that position would just one-time it. And the right move, it would just be attack him, close the angle. And Coyle's like, yes, but what if I didn't? What if I pump faked you and went around you and then brought it back and then tucked it in? What if I did that instead? And he did, and it was fucking awesome. It was so cool. It's my favorite goal of the year so far. It was just so smooth.
It's also just un-Coyle-ish.
Yes.
Where when I saw it go in, I was like, wait, whom? And is there doing such things? Charlie Coyle? Whom?
It's not even like he doesn't have good hands, because he definitely has good hands. I still maintain he has the best hand-eye coordination on the team. I don't think anybody bats it out of the air quite like Coyle does. But it was, again, it's just like one of those goals. I'm like, dude, like, you're on Mike's special stuff right now. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. There is like this guy's got to be juiced right now.
Yeah.
Element. I mean, like something's up here.
We're not implying that he is. But
I'm accusing.
Oh, okay. Joe is accusing. I'm going to distance myself, but but no, I can't say enough about Coyle right now. And I think Monty really hit something with the lines that started in the Philly game, especially Zacha, Coyle, Brazeau. I'm fucking loving that line right now. That is like all the lines are kind of clicking right now. Like they so much so that he didn't even touch it going into Seattle. He's like, we're going to keep the forward groups the same.
Which has he ever done?
I don't believe so. And the only time I think it really changed consistently is with Pastrnak getting benched for the third period, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But the lines have been really good. So you got Marchand, Lindholm, Pastrnak. Those are your big threats. I love them all being together, especially like Marchand and Lindholm together. Zacha, Coyle, Brazeau, as we said. Freddie, Patra, Geeky. Working big time. You're getting Geeky involved. Still not quite on the sheet, but Freddie's looking great. Patra, not if, but when he gets obliterated every game, Freddie will step in and protect him. And then the fourth line is back together. I think this is the best group right now until we add Tyler Johnson, which the Bruins just did, signing a 1-year, $775,000 deal.
Welcome to veteran. Boston, Tyler Johnson.
Officially, welcome. You don't need another Tyler. Curious where he's going to end up going. He was practicing in that 2C spot, which is Coyle's spot right now. So I'm curious, one, who's going to draw out. Performance-wise, I'm going to say it would probably be Geeky. But I don't really know.
Geeky's such an odd specimen.
Yeah, but
just in his time here as a whole.
With Geeky, I'm almost reluctant to take him out because he does appear to be warming up. He has been playing better these last couple games.
Just such a high ceiling player
and it's like I don't want to give up on him yet. It's still early in the season. Like he's having a rough start, but I'm afraid of taking him out when he's just starting to show some smoke a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's Monty. He could put Johnson on defense. I don't know, but
you could put Johnson and Johnson, a family company.
You don't need tears.
You don't.
David
Pastrnak was benched for the third period of this game.
Pastrnak was benched for the third period.
What is that about?
Did you see some?
I saw the giveaway. Giveaway.
At the end of the second period on the power play.
On the power,
trying to
blue line,
somebody going into
doodle. Yeah. Here's the thing. This goes back to the whole Zacha goal thing too. But maybe we don't play around the blue lines. Maybe we don't play around the blue lines, but
maybe we just get the puck in.
Can I just say something?
You may.
But I am a critic of David Pastrnak. I always have been. Pasta tax. If you guys are new to the show, it's always been our way to put it. You got to pay the pasta tax. Yeah, he's going to create 20 goals a year that no other human on the planet really could, but he's also going to just like fall down and give up on a play sometimes. I've seen more egregious things from David Pastrnak. Like, I don't think that this was like bench him for a period worthy.
No, I agree. That just looks like a very average Bruins offensive zone entry attempt on the power play. That's what they all look like to me. Like, so much so when I saw the replay, I'm like, oh, I thought it would be worse than that. It's not great, but it's not like... I feel like Marchand's thing that he got yelled at was worse. And not even by a lot, because I didn't even think that was like catastrophically awful or anything, and it wasn't like game breaking. The fact that like when he got benched, people were like, is he hurt? Like there wasn't even like a singular like, oh, of course. Which happens usually with younger guys who have like a shorter leash than David Pastrnak does. But like usually when there's like an egregious turnover, that would typically lead to a goal, which it didn't in this case, and then you don't see that player, you're like, oh, well, obviously that's why. But
that's
the fact
kind of the weird thing too, is like it didn't lead to a goal. If it did, then I guess maybe we could be like, hey, it did lead to a goal. It wasn't made that egregious, but whatever. You talk about the end result. There wasn't even that. It was just weird.
I think I think there's more to it than that, and not even a like behind the scenes kind of thing, but the optics of it. It's like Pastrnak typically responds pretty well to getting called out, and that is getting called out. He already responded well to it. Mm-hmm. He was, what did he say? Hold on, I have the quote here. Stand by. I don't have the quote here. And moving on. Basically just saying it's like, yeah, like I messed up, but I'm responsible for it, and I'm already moving on from it.
He said something like, that was a bad turnover. I just want to move forward. I don't want to be any distraction to our team. The guys know how I feel about them here. It's a bad play. I take accountability and already moving forward.
There you go. It's like, yeah, okay. So I think it may be a more of a message for the team. It's like no one is immune. Like I will bench David fucking Pastrnak for a whole period if I don't think you're up to snuff. And with Monty previously being on the hot seat and you're still winning 2-0 at that point, and then you're still willing to bench your best offensive threat, I think that's like a chestnut checkers move for Monty. I think it's more than just that singular play. I think it's, I'm going to call out Pastrnak because he is loose and he does want him to tighten up, especially in the power play when he should be making his money. So I'm very curious to see how he's going to respond. Joe, I don't know if you remember, but the next game is against Toronto.
Right. I know them. I will say, as right as you are about all of that, which I think you just made some great points there. That's promo worthy. Clip that. Whoever our producer is, clip that. It also just does seem like a move that, like, some guy sitting in his recliner watching the game would say,
fucking bench like,
David fucking Pastrnak. Bench him. It's a terrible giveaway. Bench him for the whole third period. And you'd go like, Uncle Dave, they are not going to bench David Pastrnak in the third period of a 2-goal game. They did.
They did.
The
whole period.
You can't really argue against it. It worked. I don't think they won because of it, but they won in spite of it. Despite it. In spite of it, right? Despite it.
Yeah. I think either works.
I don't know.
Did you see that Mr. Kevin Paul DuPont, he put out an article basically saying like, hey, it's not just Monty. And he like called out like 4 Bruins, one of which was Zadorov.
It's an interesting time to be calling out Zadorov.
Yeah, I don't know that. And this was like prior to these 2 wins, I'll say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
It was. I don't know that I feel like Zadorov is worthy of a 1 of 4 call out. Like, yeah, he's making good money, but like I haven't had a problem with Zadorov's play. He's doing what I want him to be doing.
I would say I lean closer to him being top 4 or 5 guys that I would say I'm disappointed by. I think both of the acquisitions are.
I mean, Elias is 8 points. He's doing all right. Like this is prior to these 2 wins, so this is like a different mindset to be in.
Right.
I do want a little more out of Elias, and I want more out of Zadorov. But like when we're talking about like the team falling apart and like the coach might be getting fired, I don't look to Zadorov as like, well, no wonder they're losing. Look at Zadorov. It's like, that's, I don't know. Like he did call it McAvoy, but I think out of all the defensemen, McAvoy, like in terms of playing to your ceiling, I feel like McAvoy was the furthest away from it.
Yeah.
I think he's looked better these last 2 games. He had 7 shots on goal against Seattle, 6 in the first 2 periods.
They all seem to be shooting more.
They do. Pasta had 7 shots in the first 2 periods before he got benched, too. It wasn't even like he wasn't involved.
The Bruins had 30 shots as a team through 2 periods.
Yes. Yeah. So, like, Seattle's nothing almost. Mm-hmm. Shots were like, what, like 17-0 at one point?
Judd was so mad about the first shot on goal. Did you hear that?
It's like, are they going to count that?
Yeah. It's like, don't tell me they're going to count that as a shot on goal. You kidding me?
It was weird. I happened to be looking at the shot on goal before that play transpired, and there was a shot on goal already. At least there was one marked. So when he said that, I was like, does he think it's that one? I may be misremembering, but I really could have sworn that I was staring at the score bug when that play happened. And I thought, I'm like, oh, but it didn't go up to 2. What?
Maybe he was just really hoping it stayed at 1.
He's like starting. There's a little bit of Jack in there. There's
a little bit of Jack.
The bias is coming out. There was one play, I think it was in the Philly game, where one of the Bruins got like very clearly tripped in the neutral zone, and no call came, and he was like, and no call. And I all I could think of was like the Making a Murderer graphic where it's like Cassidy and Montgomery.
Yeah.
I want to make one where it's Judd and Jack. It's the same idea. Really, it's like he's starting to leak out at Judd a little bit. There's a little bit there.
I like that. Making a broadcaster or something. We can put something there.
Yeah, we could do something there.
There's something there.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about Jack
after.
But before that, before we get to the break, because I want to we talked to somebody. I won't tell you who yet. It's game time.
It's a secret. Damn it.
It's just game time. But we got to talk about our good friend Frederick, who has a thirst for blood at the moment. Rob, I would like to think that he just staunchly wanted to defend Matthew Patra in the moment that he did.
He did.
I also think he just wanted to kill a man and still does. I don't think he's gotten his fill yet. Something's going on. And Freddie is a bat out of hell. Maybe this is some of the coaching stuff. Maybe
I was going to say that there might have been, because this is like typically the role that he's been for this team, and he's at his best when he's mad. I think maybe not mad, but when the blood's a little hot.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. I can see his name in my head. Not Kovacelik. What's his name on Philly?
Konechny?
Was it Travis? Was it Konechny?
I don't recall. I'm trying to find it right now.
I don't think it was. That Freddie got into it with in the final minute. And then it was the Patra hit was in the Seattle game. Am I getting that right?
Yes, the Patra hit was in the Seattle game. Yeah, right behind the net.
Freddie got
it was connecting. It was connecting.
It was connecting. Okay.
Yeah,
and then he got the 2-minute not instigator, unsportsmanlike.
Yeah.
Did we figure out, was it something that he said, or were they accusing him of intentionally ripping off the helmet?
Now that this is just coming to mind, it may have been just the amount he was trying to get around the linesman, to be honest. I don't know if that is like grounds.
I think that was more in the Philly game.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I have that backwards. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It was back-to-back nights of Freddie being a maniac. It's hard to keep track of.
Losing track. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think we ever got a definitive answer, and I do not believe we really ever will. But I don't know. So if
nobody else seemed very concerned about it. Everyone's like, "Yeah, you got the 2 for unsportsmanlike." I'm like, why?
I did they even say in the broadcast, or like their Bruins will probably be shorthanded here. I was like,
was it just because he jumped them?
I don't know. The way the ref kept talking, I was like, is he about to give him like the full 17? Like, is that what's about to happen? But that would have been insane for that context. But I mean, honestly, if you just want to go back to the Philly game with Konechny, so again, I didn't see this game live, and you told me that you're like, this might be the maddest I've ever seen Trent Frederic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to, so what happened was Konechny and Frederic are pretty tied up, and Konechny like pops him with the glove on. And that, yes, that is grounds for getting pissed off, but Frederic, like something fucking snapped in him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he started like hitting him with like comically over the top. Like I wanted to put like cartoon bang noises over it. Like he was hammer punching him on the top of the head with his glove. And the linesman holding him back looked like he was using every ounce of his strength to do so. Freddie was fucking pissed.
I don't know if I've ever really seen a player for that long a period of time try to get away from a linesman. Like I've seen players like push and shove and like get a little out of control and like try harder, but never for as long to get away from a linesman's grasp. Dude, I was worried Freddie was going to do something bad. And I think Judd was too. He was kind of saying like, Freddie's got to be careful here. Cause like You swing and you pop a linesman. See ya.
Yeah. Well, like Max Jones kind of did.
Yeah. Shout out Max Jones.
Ooh. I saw somebody refer to him as Minimum Jones.
That's funny.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I can't find the clip now, but yeah, he was so fucking mad. And then in the Seattle game, somebody's got to teach Patra how not to get murdered every game, because it's becoming a point like this. Any one of these hits like is a foot away from being like season ending.
Well, it's also being 161 pounds.
He's 189. Thank you.
Sure.
Possibly more, but no,
with
absolutely.
His equipment on, I bet he is right around there. Yeah,
but it's the positions he's putting himself in, like that hit behind the net, like kind of head down. He really should be anticipating that kind of hit in that scenario, and he got fucking leveled. Like he already was like leaning back a bit, so the hit it may have just looked worse than it was, but he got dropped by Larson. And Frederick, within like 1.5 seconds, had his gloves off, and Larson dropped the gloves. Well, glove. One of them stayed on, which at the time when it happened live, I was like, why are the refs immediately jumping into this fight? And it wasn't until I saw the replay that he still had a glove on. I was like, was he not really a willing participant? They gave him 5 for fighting, but
yeah. What's the rule there? That's weird. You drop one glove.
I don't know.
The linesmen step in and stop it, but you still get 5 minutes for fighting.
I think it's also because he had Larson turned around, so he was like hitting him from behind, like that Ryan Lomberg fight I sent you. Oh my, that is actual assault. Oh my god, that fight was ridiculous. It wasn't actual assault. It was a left.
It
was like there was so many lefts. He's begging for a right. Oh my god, brutal. But I'm very glad.
But Freddie, I love seeing Freddie like that. Freddie's such a, you know what he is, dude? He's a spark plug.
Spark. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good buzzword. That's a good sports media word.
Yeah, dude.
Water bug.
I work in sports media.
Spark plug. All good.
Local spark plug, Trent Frederick.
He's Freddie Fisticuffs. He's back.
Yeah.
I think swing. The game against Toronto is going to be quite a bit, because the last game, it was a good game. It was a very good hockey game, but it was not a contentious game, not a violent game.
I'd like it to be this time around.
I really think it's gonna be. I think it was the Bruins. The Bruins coming off 2 wins, looking to keep it going. You got Freddie's blood. Freddie's still probably punching things right now somewhere. I would imagine Tyler Johnson's going to be in the lineup, so he's going to be a boost too.
He's going to be punching things.
He's going to be punching Frederick. Everybody's punching Frederick. Yeah, I again very glad for obvious reasons that Potter was fine in that scenario. But just to get back to that for a second, he gets crushed a lot. Yeah. Like literally every game. Like I was joking before, but it is literally every game he gets hit hard.
He does have to. He certainly has got to protect himself a bit better.
Also, just talking about hard hits every game, I want to throw in Zadorov again. That man is good for at least 3 bone-crunching hits a game right now. Like, my note here is I don't think there's a stronger strongman I've seen on the Bruins in a while. Like, I think of like Kevin Miller, because we have a lot of guys that are like big and strong, but like they don't always play that game or they don't always fully use it.
Yeah.
Zadorov has control of every pound of muscle in his body to the point where he cannot use all of it. He can't. Like these big hits he's laying, you can see he's holding back. That is not full force. He's like, this is the right amount I need to get you on the ground.
I want him fired up late in the year. I would love to see like the biggest scrum of the year that Zadorov is like in the middle of it, like unhinged, like 2 linesmen got to grab each arm.
Yeah, I want to see Zadorov mad. I'm scared of what would require him to get mad, I guess.
I don't think we I don't think we would come on here and be like, wow, did you see him get upset? I think we would come on here and be in a little bit of shell shock.
Like, I can't believe that guy died. That's crazy that Zadorov killed a man on live television.
This is going to be a memorial episode. Yeah.
He punched a hole through his head. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Speaking of maybe not memorial tributes and whatnot, we got to get to a very important one after we talk to our good friends over at Prize Pick. No, oh my goodness gracious, over at Game
Wow,
time.
cheating on him.
There's nothing like seeing a game live. I mean, watching it on TV is great. We have all the technology. We have our phones. We have access to everything. But being there in person, it's definitely the way to go. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time.
On Sunday, the Boston Bruins and TD Garden hosted Jack Edwards night. Seemingly on a whim. I don't know. Did you know about this beforehand?
Yeah.
You did?
Yep.
How far in advance?
About a week.
A week?
Yeah.
Did they announce it about a week in advance?
So he was at a game in Boston. I'm blanking on which one it was. I think it was whatever game was before the Philadelphia game.
Mm-hmm.
They showed him in the stand and they made a comment. They're like, yes, this Sunday we will be honoring Jack Edwards. And that was kind of it. They didn't do a whole lot of like social media marketing for it, but that I did hear through the broadcast, like that one-off comment from Judd.
Mm-hmm.
So from that I knew.
Okay.
And then I think on Saturday they posted a few things about it too. But
Right. That's when I first saw about it.
Yeah.
First of all, the logo. It's a weird place to start, but whatever.
Good.
High above the ice.
Good.
Very good. Very good stuff.
And them enshrining that in the booth permanently. You see that?
Yeah. I
That's
did.
good too.
Yeah.
That's his booth. It's his booth.
Weird, difficult conversation, but
Yeah.
gonna just say it. Just
Gotta
come
get
out
out
and
to it.
say it. That Jack's condition or symptom of this unknown condition, as doctors apparently still do not know what exactly is the cause of his speech issues. It has not subsided. It sounds like it may have continued to
More than may
have an impact. Yeah, it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse.
Yeah, you can just call it.
But the good thing, the beautiful thing about it, if you want to call it that, is that Jack seems to be at peace with what's going on and seems, he said, less self-conscious, which is great because I don't know if you ever shared specifically what Jack said when we asked him to come on here. I don't think we did.
I might have, basically just that he wasn't comfortable in this medium and that he was planning on doing like one interview with someone that he's known for a while, but he didn't plan on really doing much like vocal work.
I think
forward.
he specifically used the term self-conscious in that.
Yes, he did.
email
Yes,
to you.
he did. He definitely did.
He said, like, to be honest, I feel pretty self-conscious.
So he
about
definitely
my
used
voice right now.
the phrase self-conscious was definitely written.
And he also specifically used that term on NESN to say that I don't feel that way. So all this is to say, Jack, you have no fucking excuse to not come on our goddamn show. I'm just joking. But no, that's great. That's great that he feels that way. He deserves all the honoring nights and praise in the world. Him talking about his wife and like the sacrifices that she made, and to have more time around his kids, and talk about wanting to pursue his career, and then also making the joke and that career being coming to hockey games. He just a lovely spirit, deserves all the praise. Obviously, we're huge fans of Jack. I think anybody with a brain is. Just a well-deserved night.
Absolutely. My favorite comment from him through the whole night was, I'm loosely paraphrasing here, is, despite what Toronto fans keep insisting, there's nothing wrong with my brain.
That is really
good. He
good.
said it with like a smile and a laugh.
Yeah.
All right.
You good?
Yeah, I got a cat in my face. But yeah, it was as tough as it was to hear that his condition has progressed. It's just very great to hear him, and it's great to see him being honored. And actually, I think my favorite part was the clips they showed of the team and the players talking about him, because that's not something we really have ever gotten. The only thing I can think of is that I think it was the Bruins Halloween 2 years ago, like Clifton and somebody else dressed up as Jack and Brick. And that was like the first time I remember being like, oh, they do know them. Like, obviously they know them. I mean, but it was great.
Do you see the clip of them asking Tuca, like his favorite call?
I didn't see the Tuca one. I saw other ones, but I didn't see Tuca.
I had the same reaction. I was like, he knows these? But it's like, yeah, of course, like
2Ks, right?
Yeah, 2 U's, 2Ks, 2 points.
Yeah.
But as he was saying it, I was like, yeah, I guess that you would watch like replays. So yeah, I guess you would hear Jack and Bergie saying, the Toronto, stab the beast.
Oh yeah,
the Lions.
The point of the dagger in their throat.
Yeah.
They showed a clip. He was walking through the hall up to Swayman, and Swayman's like, "Are you here to call one more for us? You got one more for us?"
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was nice. So again, like we love Jack so much. He's just a wonderful man, so passionate, so knowledgeable, and I love that so much of the comments from him. And there's been a lot of praise from Brick, obviously, but a lot of it centering around like Jack is Jack. He's one of one, unapologetically himself. There will never be another Jack Edwards, and we were lucky to have experienced him. Like my least favorite word in the English language was vanilla, and I never wanted to be vanilla. It's that you never were, Jack. Mm-hmm. And I think I love Judd. I think he's doing a great job, and Alex Faust, I think he did a great job last year when Jack was away. I think it's just so tough to go from such a unique personality and one that's so powerful that it reaches all of hockey, for better or worse. Like, you don't know other teams' commentators. Other teams knew Jack. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew Jack. Most people didn't like Jack, but they knew him.
They didn't like Jack because Jack wasn't a fan of their team.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't calling their games like that.
And there was a lot of talk about that between Jack and Brick. They were like, we grew up Bruins fans. We have always been Bruins fans. Mm-hmm. And then we worked for them. Like, of course they've been biased. I would want them to be biased. Mm-hmm.
It's one thing NESN nails.
Yes.
Or did nail, I guess, now that we're talking about in the past tense. But
yeah,
amazing booth. Always been an amazing booth.
And the last line I'll say about him was the one that we tweeted out, where he says, I think there's not an original 6 if you're raised in New England. There's an original 1. And the Bruins were that team from day one with me.
It's awesome.
It's perfect.
Thank you, Jack. Deserve all the praise and all the kind words that you got on Sunday. And speaking of Jack Edwards, Boston Bruins are playing the Toronto Maple Leafs this coming
tomorrow,
Tuesday.
Yeah,
tomorrow. Well, if you're listening to this today,
this coming Tuesday at 7 p.m. on November 5th.
Tickets as low as
$70,
$68 on Game Time.
Fuck
and
you.
if it's your first purchase too, and you're getting the CLNS $20 off, you're getting into a Bruins Leafs game for 48 buckaroons.
Doubloons?
48 balloons, dude.
Smackaroons,
casharoons,
rupees.
That is
that's
free. $48 at the Garden is free. $48 is chicken tenders with extra fries.
With the Zamboni box.
Zamboni box, I think, is actually another $100, but yeah.
That's fair. I have a few random comments that I didn't get to come out with, so these I'm going to be bouncing around.
Are they related to the Bruins or hockey?
Yeah, they're related to the Boston Bruins.
Okay,
just like stuff from last two games.
Random general stuff. Were like,
No.
Hey, so I like when the leaves change.
I like when the Leafs lose.
Oh,
some stuff from the last two games, some general stuff about the league, and then that's interesting.
Oh, perfect! My favorite segment.
Matt Poitras had his first first goal of the season. And you know how difficult it was for him to score in the first game of the season I don't watch?
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, listen, maybe you got to stop watching all these games, you know?
I looked at my buddy and I hit him with the, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. And at first, when I looked at it through the box score, it was attributed to Geeky at the time. But then I saw tweets being like, Geeky did not touch that puck.
Yeah.
And in typical Potter fashion, I don't even think he was trying to score there. I think he was just trying to get it in front of the net.
Mm-hmm.
So
monkey off the back.
He reminds me so much like Krejci. Yeah. So just very glad to see that. And I think he's been playing very well. Much more physical these last 2
Well, he's got those 11 pounds that he added in the offseason.
He's using every one of them. All 176 ounces going to use. He's still getting run over, but he's getting more involved and more confident. He's shooting more. I think he's a guy that, like, in the midway part of the season and later on, we're going to look back and be like, wow, he really was not. He took a little bit to warm up. I think he's going to really pop off in the coming weeks and months. What else do we got here? Lohrei was a bit of a turnover machine. I'll say that. He struggled a little bit against Philly. That's fine. Like, it's Lohrei. We know that. Like, he's young. Like, it's expected. Like, we knew that coming into the season. And yeah, he's not going to play every game. And Spoons will come in and he'll play a good game, which I thought he did against Seattle. Zaka's missing the net a lot, which is why it was even more upsetting for him to have his goal wiped off, because it was like, oh, sick. Not only did he finally get on net, but it went in the net. How great. In the Seattle game, we have a bullshit star of the game alert. Another segment we'd like to do. Third star of the game. Oh, I'm sorry. This was the Philly game. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Stand by. Now I'm confusing myself. I think I'm wrong. Who does Bobby Brink play for? That's Philly, right? Yeah, plays for Philly. Okay, so this is the Philly game. I'm sorry. He was the third star. He had no points. He had 2 shots on goal. Bullshit. That was it. Brad Marchand, not a star of the game, had a goal and an assist. What's that about?
Voted by the home media.
Yeah, bullshit.
What
did he do? He's 166 pounds. What are you doing? Get out of here.
Have you ever voted for star of the game when you're credentialed at the Garden?
Nope. I didn't know that's how it worked. What do you think Bobby Brink's middle name is?
Bonilla?
Nope.
Brinks?
Just focus on the first name for a moment. Bobby?
Roberts?
Or... His full name is Bobby Orr Brink.
Or is a bad middle name because it sounds like you're picking between 2 names.
It's Bobby Orr Brink. It's one or the other.
Yeah, you've got to pick one.
It's Robert or. What if that I'm going to throw? It's not a stat, but I'll throw it then and say, oh, that's interesting. Bobby Brink's middle name is Orr. Interesting note here is that Don Sweeney did not attend the Bruins, or was not with the Bruins on Friday and Saturday, but was at the Columbus Winnipeg game and the St. Louis Toronto game. What's Don cooking? What's going on there?
Wait, it was the Winnipeg Columbus?
Yup.
And St. Louis who?
Toronto. Interesting.
Oh, it's interesting.
I don't even have a... Oh, he's probably looking at this guy. I have no idea. That's very interesting.
Oh, it's interesting.
And speaking of, that's interesting. Well, this one's kind of been floating around. The last time the Boston Bruins had shutouts and back-to-back days was October 27th and 28th, 2008.
Wow.
Both shutouts coming from none other than Mr. Timmy Thomas.
Tim Tom.
Of course. I just love the idea of like you putting in the same goaltender in back-to-back days, which is like not a thing that happens at all anymore. Like truly does not happen anymore. And then he had shutouts in both games. I think it was 58 saves across both games, which is like
58 saves and 10 penalty minutes.
Oh yeah. He definitely chopped a few ankles that game.
Yeah.
And here's the one that I kind of alluded to before the show. All but 4 Bruins have a negative plus-minus right now.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is Kepke, Beecher, Kastelik, and Zadorov in that order. And Zadorov is only a plus 3. Kepke with a plus 10.
Yeah, I mean,
but everybody else is a -1 or lower. Which, like, yeah, like they've been struggling. They're still minus goal differential. It makes sense, but we're not used to seeing that, and it stuck out to me. And they went 1 for 7 on the power play these last 2 games.
Yeah,
still a problem. Still a problem. Great. They're looking better. It looks better.
Looks better. I would like to see them do it against a good team, and they got a great chance to do it.
Or Toronto.
If you want more fire like that, dog, you just got to follow us on Twitter at @bearwithme_pod. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Rob Tocci.
And we'll be back we'll be back later in the week.
You're going to be gone. So
yeah,
end of the week.
Much against my will, I have to be in Philadelphia or the Philadelphia boroughs for the next week. So
I thought you were going to say, or rather, Philadelphia has to be in me, is what I thought you were going to say.
I was not going to say that. I'm going to eat a lot of cheesesteaks, I'll be honest. So in that way, maybe a little bit. But
do you do Whiz?
Yeah, when in Rome.
Nice.
Who might argue?
Yeah,
I'm going to go. I already looked up the best cheesesteak place near where I'm staying, and I'm going to go there and be like, just give me what you think is best.
Mm-hmm. Give me the classic. That's my family will get on me. We'll go to restaurants, dude, and I'll ask I'm like, what's like your best selling thing? What's the thing? Do you guys have like a known for this? Like this is like our main thing because I'll take that. And they get on me. They're like, asking all the questions. It's like, I don't know. I'm not sitting here asking for you to rank them 1 to 10. Just what's the main thing? What are you known for? Give me a real taste of this joint. You know,
I'm gonna pull you behind the curtain a little bit right now and let you in on a service industry secret.
What are they getting commission?
When you ask that question, you're going to get something that is either A, I'm holding up a number 1 for A, expensive, or 2, just comes out really quickly, or ideally both, because that is exactly what I did when I was a waiter. I'd be like, oh yeah, this thing, it's $40 and it will come out in 3 minutes. And they're like, cool, great. I would sell it differently, but they're selling you, man. I think I'm personable enough. People aren't trying to sell to me. Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that. There were times I'm like, you're cool. I'm not going to give you the hard sell.
Because, like, I don't know, you go to a seafood place and you're like, all right, you guys, is it like your platter or is it like you known for like the bisque? What's like your big thing? Like a critic comes in, what are you giving them?
Have you ever heard the joke Norm Macdonald's son told him, like the seafood joke?
Maybe, tell me.
It's I'm on the seafood diet, where if I see food and it's a fish, I eat it. And it was like you could see Norm like really trying not to laugh. He's like, all right.
Oh, it's good. Really, that's good.
It's very good.
All right, follow us on the socials. Bear with me _pod at Joey Copponi at Rob Tocci. Rob is he's managing the Bear With Me Twitter. Blowing up right now. We're going to do a giveaway for our 1,000th follower where Rob is going to give someone a jersey of their choosing out of his closet. So
I'll bake you a loaf of focaccia. How about that?
Oh, nope. All right. One of your real authentic jerseys. You're picking.
They can have my inauthentic knockoff Tory Crew jersey, actually. No, they can't. I want that. I'm keeping that. That means a lot to me. It's the first one I ever bought for myself.
We'll buy you a jersey. And by we, I mean Rob will give you one out of his closet. Thanks you guys so much for following along. Thank you for being the 1,000th follower, because by the time we're doing this show, we've got you and you're getting your jersey out of Rob's closet. And we thank you guys for all that you do for supporting the show. We're getting a lot of support recently. So
thank you.
Let's keep it rolling. Let's just keep it rolling. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Thanks for,
Bear